welcome to this explainer. Okay, so you know that feeling, right? When you're talking to someone and something is just off. You feel it deep down, right in your gut, honestly, before the words even fully leave their mouth, before their smile fades, before they even finish their story. There's just something inside you that whispers, yeah, that's not the whole truth. And you know what? You are absolutely right. You just don't know exactly how to prove it yet. Look, most people go through their entire lives reading people completely wrong. They trust the wrong ones, and they end up getting hurt over and over again by the exact same type of person, just wearing a slightly different face. But today, we're going to change all of that.
I mean, think about a moment in your own life when someone lied to you. And not just some random stranger, but someone you actually knew, someone you trusted. After you finally found out the truth, you probably replayed that conversation in your head 100 times and asked yourself, why didn't I see it? You might have even felt a little foolish. But let me be very, very clear about this. That is not stupidity, and it is definitely not weakness. Think about it. We're taught math, we're taught history, we're taught how to write a good resume, but nobody ever sat you down and explained the actual mechanics of how a human being hides what they really feel. You were simply playing a high-stakes game without knowing the rules. And the people who fooled you, well, they knew those rules and they used them. But that stops right here.
Because here is the fundamental secret that nobody tells you. Every single human being is leaking the truth. Every single second. It's true. Their bodies are constantly confessing, their eyes are whispering, and honestly, their silence is screaming. And by the time we wrap up this explainer, I promise you, you're going to know exactly how to listen to those silent screams. You'll be able to read people like an open book.
Okay, let's dive into this and look at exactly why we get fooled in the first place.
So, why do we actually get tricked? Well, here is a truly fascinating thing about human beings. We are terrible liars. Literally, all of us. Even the exceptionally smooth ones who can look you dead in the eye and sound completely 100% calm, they are actually terrible at hiding the ultimate truth of what they're experiencing. To understand why, we kind of have to look at how the brain operates under pressure. When someone is deceiving you, their brain is basically running two conflicting programs at the exact same time. Program 1 is the performance. It's what they want you to think. But program 2 is reality. It's what they actually feel. And these two programs, they are constantly crashing into each other. It's like running too many heavy apps on an old phone. The brain simply cannot flawlessly run both at once. And the result of this crash? Tiny observable leaks. Little flickers and fractures in the mask they're wearing. Most people just blink and miss them. But once you know what you're looking for, they're glaringly obvious.
Which brings us perfectly to secret number 1, omission profiling.
If you want to become incredibly accurate at reading people, you have to stop just listening to what people say and start paying very, very close attention to what they don't say. Let's say someone is telling you a story about a conflict at work. If they're telling the truthful story, the brain naturally provides specific details. It just does. They'll use names like "my colleague Sarah said this," or they'll pinpoint specific times like "it was a Tuesday right after the meeting." But when someone is hiding something, the story suddenly becomes incredibly vague. You'll hear things like, "some people at work were saying things," or, "it kind of just happened." The brain naturally avoids specific names and details when it's actively protecting a secret. Why? Because it subconsciously knows that specific details create a trail that you can verify. A completely vague story is rarely just a bad memory, it's an omission.
The truth is almost always hiding in the gap. So the next time someone tells you a story that feels just a little bit off, don't focus entirely on the words they're stringing together. Look at the silence between the words. Ask yourself exactly who is missing from this narrative. What specific moment did they completely skip over? Because the detail they never mentioned is exactly where you need to look.
Let's move on and see how this builds with secret number 2, the 1-second rule.
Now, this rule relies on a slightly disturbing biological fact. No human being, and I mean no matter how practiced they are, can control their face for the first 1 second of a genuine reaction. It's just biology. Emotion is processed so much faster than conscious thought. And this brings us to the science of microexpressions. These are rapid flashes of true emotion that last for less than a second on a person's face. They happen right before their conscious thought and their social performance kick in. Most people completely miss the truth because they're actively watching the performance. The polite smile, the agreeable nod. They aren't watching that critical, completely unprotected first fraction of a second where the true emotion actually lives.
Let's actually apply this. Try telling someone about a recent success of yours. Maybe you got a new job or had a big win. Do not watch their smile. Instead, watch the very first fraction of a second right before that fake supportive smile appears. Look for the tightening jaw. That indicates suppressed envy that they're never going to admit to. Or look for the 1-second squint in their eyes.
That is literally a primal threat response. It means their brain briefly registered your success as a challenge. They don't do it on purpose, but that jaw or that squint, that tells you the absolute truth 1 second before the lie is born.
All right, moving right along to secret number 3, the shocking word technique.
To really understand this one, you have to realize that almost everyone you meet is running a rehearsed social script. They've consciously or even subconsciously decided exactly what version of themselves they want to show you. And as long as you play along with their script, you are only ever going to see the performance. To see their actual soul, you must abruptly break that script. And here is exactly how you do it, laid out in 3 super simple steps. Step 1. Just play along with the normal social script. Have a perfectly normal casual conversation, laugh about nothing important. Step 2. Calmly and abruptly drop an unexpected statement. For example, just quietly say, "You know, I heard someone was talking about you." And then step 3. Say absolutely nothing else. Just watch. By dropping a sharp, out-of-place statement like that, you completely shatter their performance for one raw, unfiltered moment.
And in that fractured moment, you're looking for the truth. An honest person who has nothing to hide, they're typically just going to laugh it off or ask about it super casually. But look out for these 1-second reactions from someone carrying hidden secrets. Do their eyes suddenly go cold? Is there immediate, uncomfortable, nervous laughter? Do they give you a sharp, hunting look, demanding who? Does their body literally physically stiffen up? These physical tells are windows into what they're actually afraid of. You just brilliantly broke through the performance to see exactly who is really standing in front of you.
Which brings us to our final technique, secret number 4, the ownership test.
So, for this one, we are moving away from verbal emissions and facial cues, and we're looking purely at raw behavioral actions. Honestly, this is perhaps the most underrated secret of the whole bunch. If you want to know someone's true character, you don't watch how they treat their own things. It is very, very easy for someone to value their own belongings because of their personal investment. No, the ultimate, unfiltered test of character is how they handle what belongs to you. The setup here is really simple. Lend them a beloved book. Let them borrow your jacket. Invite them into your personal space.
When you observe the result, you're usually going to see one of 2 outcomes. Gentle handling means they return things exactly the way they found them. They treat your items with meaning, which proves they respect you because your things are an extension of you. But careless handling, returning a book with crumpled pages, tossing your jacket on the floor, or treating your space disrespectfully, reveals a pretty brutal truth. That person doesn't actually see you. They only see what they can extract from you. And let me tell you, no amount of kind, sweet words will ever undo what that careless behavior just revealed.
Let's wrap this all up with a really important concept. Clarity, not cynicism.
As we start to put all of this together, we really need to talk about a major paradigm shift. Because look, once you start spotting these omissions, these micro-expressions, and these small betrayals everywhere, your first instinct might be to just get angry. You might feel suspicious of everyone, or even feel entirely alone. But remember this, the human mind is not designed for honesty. It's designed for survival. Most people aren't consciously plotting against you in some dark, malicious way. They are simply lying to themselves first. That person with the vague story, they genuinely believe their own version of it because it builds a survival narrative that they can comfortably live with.
So the crucial point to take away from all this is exactly this quote. You're not seeing monsters. You're seeing human beings, exactly as they are. Adopting these observational techniques isn't about becoming a cruel person or judging people harshly. Not at all. It's about giving yourself the ultimate protection of absolute clarity. It's about finally seeing the reality of the people around you, rather than the polished performance they're putting on.
So here is your new shield moving forward. Profile the omissions in their stories. Watch that critical first second of the reactions for the absolute truth. Disrupt the social script when something feels off to you. And always, always test their character with your belongings. If you master these 4 secrets, you get to be the quiet, highly observant person in the room who misses absolutely nothing. You will finally stop being blindsided, and you will stop giving your loyalty to people who were never genuinely loyal to you in the first place.
Before we go, I want to leave you with a quick question to think about. Which of these 4 secrets actually surprised you the most? Take these tools, step out into the real world, and just watch how completely they transform the way you read human behavior. You now have the power of absolute clarity. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I will see you next time.